The story is set on a cold winter night on New Year's Eve, when a poor little girl is seen on the street selling matches. Hungry and shivering with cold, the little girl can't go back home without selling the matches because her father will beat her if he sees her without money. Feeling miserable, the girl walks around the street barefoot and bareheaded. She loses the slippers that she was wearing. Those belonged to her mother and were too big to cover the girl's little feet. Dejected due to the excruciating cold and no money, she finds shelter near a wall between two houses. The growing cold prompted her to light a match. As she strikes the match against the wall, she visualizes herself sitting before an iron stove. The fire from the imaginary stove elates her so much that she starts feeling the warmth, but the flame soon goes out. Then she strikes another match, and its bright flame makes the wall transparent as a veil. She sees through the wall a table adorned with different delectable dishes, and a beautiful roast goose stuffed with apple and dried plums. She envisions the enticing goose hopping down from the dish and reeling on the floor with knife and fork in its breast. But just then, the flame is out again. Sitting against the cold and damp wall, as against her warm and pleasant dreams, the girl lights another match. In its divine flame, she sees a magnificent Christmas tree. Thousands of lights on the branches of the tree, as if they looked upon her as they rose higher and higher until they become stars in heaven. The girl then sees a star falling, which reminds her of her grandmother, who told her that a soul ascends to God whenever a star falls. With this vision, the flame goes off again. She lights another match, and in the luster she sees her grandmother, the only person who loved her. She stands before her in the light, looking radiant, with a deep expression of love. The sight of her grandmother delights the poor soul so much that she cries out to her and lights all the matches, just not to let her fade, as did the iron stove, the goose, and the Christmas tree. The brilliant light of the bundle of matches looks brighter than the noonday, and her grandmother appears more beautiful than ever. She implores her grandmother to take her away, so that she could feel love and joy that would warm her inside out. The grandmother takes her little girl in her arms and takes her along to heaven, where there is neither cold nor hunger, and where there is warmth of love and blessings. The next day, on New Year's Day, people see a poor little girl sitting on the snow-clad street with a bundle of burnt matches in her hand. At the cold hour of the dawn, she is frozen to death. They pity the girl's fate, empathizing superficially that she might have died trying to warm herself. What they were unaware of was the beautiful imagination that granted her the warmth of death, thereby defeating the coldness of life that surrounded her, in the form of the weather and the people around her. In the crossfire, it's caught in the crossfire.